ready to bust this groove. Bust the groove.
We're back from Disney.
We're back.
Is that crabs on your shoulder, or are you happy to see me?
A little bit of both.
Welcome to the next episode of VGXL. I'm your host, Daniel, aka Games. Joining me is the beautiful Fefer from the channel Fefer. And today we'll be discussing video games and video game news. And our trip to Disney World.
We went to Disney.
Yeah. All right. What's going on, Fefer? Feels like I haven't talked to you in forever.
I know. It's been so long.
Well, on camera, yeah. I haven't talked to you this way in forever.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I'm dusting off my computer. It's been a long while. Gotta make our way back. So here we are.
Yeah, it's good. I think we recorded our last episode like about 2.5 weeks ago. No, 3 weeks ago. Yeah, the third, I think it was. So yeah, about no, not the third. We left the third. So it's been like 3 weeks. All right. So but
yeah, I think it was like late January.
Yeah, it was the week before we left. We didn't do it the week we left. We wanted to, but we didn't. But anyway,
yeah, we wanted to, we didn't. Yeah.
But yeah, much needed vacation, much needed rest, or lack thereof, because we were standing in lines in Disney. But you know, it was a good time. Did you have a good time?
I had an amazing time. Absolutely. Disney is an absolute experience, expensive experience, but an amazing experience nonetheless. They make you feel like you spent your money well spent because they've got quality stuff. Like look at this little guy here. Sebastian, he's on my shoulder. How is that happening? Magic. But I love it.
You're such a goober. I like that.
Listen, this is like my best thing that I bought the whole thing like to bring home. I think this is the shit right here. This is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just head over heels in love with my little Sebastian. I even met Ariel, and Ariel's like, "Oh, look, you brought Sebastian. Thank you." So I was squealing on the inside. My little inner Pfeffer from 8-10 years old that's always like dreamed of going to Disney finally went to Magic Kingdom. So I was extremely ecstatic. Okay.
No, that was great. No, I mean, I did go growing up or whatever. But the last time I went to like Magic Kingdom was, I don't even remember. The last time I went to Florida, I guess with my parents was back in, you know, when I was growing up, was when I was like 16 years old. And I think we went to one park, and I don't even remember what park that might have been. But if we even went to a park, I think by that time, I don't even think we went anywhere. I can't remember now. Anyway, wow, it's been so long. But anyway, yeah, you know, if you haven't been to Disney, it's definitely an experience worth doing one time. If you're thinking of planning a family or having a family, I mean, either way, even alone as adults, it's worth going just to check it out. It is an experience if you've never been to a theme park like that, because it's not just an amusement park. Like Great Adventures tries to have a theme, but it's mostly an amusement park or whatever. I know the rides do have a theme, and you know, you walk through I remember the Batman ride, and it's like you're walking through Gotham, but that's like nothing compared to like what they do at like Universal Studios or Disney, where it's like you walk through and it's like they want you to it kind of relates to video games, because video games, there's like, you know, there's that immersion, right? So it's like,
exactly,
you know, when a game, you know, starts breaking, or you know, when you can see how the game works or something that breaks the immersion, that's like, you know, whereas this, they try so hard to immerse you in the world. You, even when you're waiting online, like waiting online is actually part of the experience, since you have to wait online anyway. Well, you get to watch different videos. They'll show, like, you know, they start setting up the reason for your ride or whatever. Or like we watched the Velocicoaster in Universal is based on Jurassic Park, so you see, you know, Chris Pratt there.
Yeah, he goes, "It's a me, Mario. Don't get on the ride because it's dangerous."
Oh my god. Oh man, if that wasn't such a good ride, I would never ride that again, just because no, he didn't, you know. And then it was all like off. That was the only thing about that one. he's talking, he's in his whatever Jurassic World character talking, and then it's all out of sync. Remember, it was all out of
I
sync,
know.
and
It's
it's just
like,
like
get the hell out of there.
exactly, and lips all moving out with nothing coming out. It's like, what the hell? But that was the best roller coaster in the entire park, or the
It
best ride in the entire
was.
park. Yeah.
Hated it. Kind of loved it. I feared for my life, but it was really fun.
Yeah.
Terrifying,
For
but very fun.
Universal though, it's like, one might say like, oh, there's not really a reason to go there, but it's like if you're a Harry Potter fan, or even if you're not, because we just started watching the movies for the first time ever.
Yeah,
Never
we
read the
just
books.
started watching them.
We're up to just watched Prisoner of Azkaban, and we're enjoying our time with it. We're watching all movies with the kids, but we only had seen the first one when we went, and I didn't really care about Harry Potter, but the rides are really awesome.
The rides are really good.
Yeah,
I have to say.
like I really felt like I walked through Green Gods, like watching it through the game, because Hogwarts Legacy came out. I've been playing that, and which we can start saying, I guess, because if you hello.
Hi.
Hello. All right.
That was weird. Yeah.
I don't know, technical difficulties. If you listen to the show before, you know that we usually like to say what we play, so we'll just start with that. I've been playing Hogwarts Legacy, and because of our time at Universal or whatever, and first, because when I first booted up the game, we hadn't watched the second movie yet, and so seeing some of the stuff in the beginning of the game was really cool to see, because it's like, oh, I remember that, and oh, like you start seeing something like the talking paintings that they had, Hogsmeade, Diagon Alley, it's like some of those things are mentioned in the game, and then we watch the second movie, and it's like, now I'm oh my god, I can't talk. Hold on. It keeps muting me when I get too loud or something. I appreciated the movies. I'm appreciating the movies a little bit more simply because of those rides and our experience there. So yeah, it was really good. And then seeing Hogsmeade in the movies, and it's like exactly how they designed it in the theme park was freaking awesome. It's like, oh shit, look at this.
It's amazing the detail that they have in all of the rides for you, and not even the rides, but just the whole town. While you're walking around, walking over to the rides and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Like
the immersion
you're
is
in there,
absolutely there. Yeah.
Buying butter beer. They have the candy store that exists in the movies. Like, it's really cool. It was really cool. And like I said, I'm appreciating the movie simply because of this. So it's like it works. The marketing works.
It really does. All that money. It works. Yeah.
So yeah. So like I said, but I gotta say, as somebody who didn't grow up with Hogwarts Legacy, I have no nostalgia for this. Besides our new experience, it's I gotta say the game is great. It's a great game. I know you haven't really touched it yet, but
I haven't. Yeah.
But I gotta say, running around doing the wizard stuff, learning the spells. I mean, if you really, really, really analyze it, I mean, there's a lot of heat. Hogwarts has gotten a lot of heat this last because of, the person who created the IP and things like that. But I still ended up getting it, and I gotta say, like, a lot of times, you'll read like Kotaku's stated like, oh, it's a magical surface rotten in the core, and I'm like, like, I know a lot of that is coming from the bias or whatnot of from the IP creator, and it's like, so a lot of these publications are kind of like shitting on the game and making it seem like it's mid or whatever, and I'm like, that nostalgia is the one thing that's controlling people's love for it, and I'm like, I don't agree with that, because I have no nostalgia for it, and as a game it's great. It's doing its job, well, I think, of what it would be to be a wizard in a video game. Like, it relies on magic, running around. The world is really detailed and nice looking. Like, Hogwarts is nice looking. Like, like you'll be walking, you see the painting, or one of the paintings like playing like an instrument, and there's little secrets to find there, where to use your spells, and it's a lot of cool stuff. And as we watch through the movies, I'm appreciating the game because I'm watching the movies. But as a game, I think it's doing a good job, and I recommend, if you're not somebody who's caught up with everything that's been going on around it, and you're still interested in playing it, I definitely recommend playing the game. It's really awesome. But yeah, other than that, what have you been playing?
I played Hey Pikmin,
What?
and I finally beat it. Hey Pikmin,
What's that on?
the 3DS.
Oh, you playing a retro game? No, I'm just
We
kidding.
brought it back. A retro 2017 retro. But I had a really good time with Hey Pikmin. It's satisfied my Pikmin hunger. At first, I was just like, it's not the same, but it was really fun flicking my Pikmin with the stylus as
Hmm.
I'm going. And I love the fact that on the 3DS they made it possible because you just go left and right. That's all you need to do. So they made it accessible for lefties like myself. Let's go lefties. And you can use the buttons, the AB, no, not even that. The ABXY buttons, the X and the B, for you
Hmm.
to go backwards and forwards when then you can use the other hand for the stylus. So obviously with the right hand is like that. So I thought that's a great detail, and it made it so much easier because I mean, it's been a while since I played 3DS, so I don't know if all the
Right.
games really do that or anything like that, but I
Uh,
appreciated it. It made it much easier to play through, and it was definitely a fun gameplay. Even though towards the end I was just kind of tired of it. There were 9 worlds, by the way.
oh, it was 9.
It
Okay.
was 9 worlds. I was on world 7. I'm telling games, I'm like, damn, it's just taking a bit over here. He's like, it's probably 8, knowing Nintendo, and I'm like, yeah, like Mario 3, 8. No, no, it was 9, but it was still very, very fun. The little bosses in there were fun to fight. It wasn't very hard of a game.
Right.
But I will admit I did die a few times on certain bosses.
Right.
But it was definitely
It's
fun. It was definitely
understandable.
fun. What was that?
It's understandable.
Yeah,
Losing, like
yeah.
if a game, if you never lose in a game, that means the game could be a little too easy.
Exactly, exactly. But yeah, it was definitely a good time for me, and I'm looking forward to the next Pikmin.
And that's great because Pikmin, 4 is coming out soon. So
Hell yeah.
hell yeah.
So that's perfect. But that's really all I've been playing aside from what before we went on the trip I played the Mr. Saito demo, and I played a little bit of the Rockwin on the new build.
Right. Right.
Um but that's not coming out till March. So keep an eye out for those.
All right.
But yeah,
Oh, that's
that's it.
awesome. But yeah, and for me, like I haven't really played much else. Like, I dabble in like little things here and there. I always like throw on my Steam Deck or something. I was playing on the 3D, a little bit on the 3DS, some Ocarina of Time. I want to finish that damn game already. Every time I picked it up, I never really get very far in it. But yeah. Um, but that's all I haven't really been playing much else. I actually need to spend like a good chunk of time on Hogwarts and like really like, get some time in because uh new games are coming out. Like
Tons of new games.
like a dragon Ishin that just came out yesterday
Mhm.
or today. This is the 18th, or so I think yesterday. And it's like we again, if you've been listening to us regularly, we love
Mm.
Yakuza, we stand Yakuza games or like a dragon games. We stand RGG.
Yeah, you know me.
Exactly. So definitely want to I definitely want to get some game time with that game. But I want to finish. I want to finish Hogwarts. Definitely got to finish Hogwarts or whatever. And then maybe that could be next because there's so much crap coming out. It's
There's
ridiculous.
tons,
And then
tons.
there's updates to things like so we're gonna moving on to the news now. A huge update is coming to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Now, this kind of makes me sad because again, like I said, there's so much stuff to play, and then there's updates, and there's updates coming out, but then I don't see anything where anything like stuttering or frame rates or anything is being fixed. I think like that's just not gonna be a thing. And or it's gonna be like maybe when the if and when the DLCs come out, I feel like that's maybe when they'll fix all that stuff. But right now, it's a lot of other bug fixes I've seen. So there's like, there's some things that with the rating and the way you interact with like renaming your Pokemon or items they're holding. There's a lot of little things that are being changed, but I don't think I saw much of a performance thing of change other than
Wasn't it what? Other than what?
some I forgot now.
I'm sorry, because I feel like I had seen something that they were saying that they were going to fix like the performance issues by spawning less monsters,
That
or
was
excuse
what the
me,
headline said,
Pokemon.
but that was a small. That's a little misleading. So
Is it? Ah, I stupid
it's
clickbait.
performance with certain areas that cause the game to restart itself will have less monsters spawn in those specific areas where the game will crash. That's where they're gonna
Oh,
spawn
so
less
it's not
monsters.
even.
Not that like the general fixes are gonna be spawning less monsters. I don't think so. I mean, I think maybe they're telling us the causes of those of maybe some of the stutter and slowdown, and who knows, maybe when they do update, maybe it will just fix it because there's less memory being used or something. But
Maybe. And not like 20 million dittos in one spot.
yeah, or like
Disguised.
I think while you're in battle, like they're gonna have less monsters running through the battle. Thing like that. So maybe the fixing that, what they're saying they're gonna fix, spawning less monsters, will be a general thing that fixes overall, the slowdown issues. That game
Mm-hmm.
can get very slow. We've seen it, and it gets real like nasty sometimes.
Yeah. It's
Um.
weird because even that's kind of affected my nausea,
Hmm.
even the slightest. So then I have to kind of slow down on it. Mind you,
Yeah.
it's plays great otherwise, except for when it stutters, it stutters.
Yeah. That part sucks.
Mm-hmm.
You put that next link in there, right? What's that's
Yes, I did. So the Final Fantasy 14 Fan Fest 2023 has been announced. It's going to be in Las Vegas.
so they're also gonna be over there. So isn't TwitchCon supposed to be in Las
TwitchCon
Vegas?
has also recently been announced to be in Las Vegas.
So Las Vegas must have open, wherever they're doing these things, they must have lowered their price or something. It must be like the place to
Right?
go. Yeah.
Exactly. So it'll be in July 28th to the 29th. Tickets are going to be $200, $199 plus taxes and fees. There is going to be a lottery system the way the tickets are happening. So you can't just go in and buy your tickets. No. It'll be just like the housing system. You'll I guess opt in. They'll pick they'll pick out numbers on like March 3rd or something. I forgot the date exactly, but you
Hmm.
have this following week, the 18th, February 18th to the 25th, to go into the lottery. Then if you are chosen, then you'll get like a code, and when the tickets open up, then with your code you can purchase up to 2 tickets. Up to two
Mm.
tickets. So then
Oh
it's
wow.
obviously, for those that don't know, Final Fantasy 14 Fan Fest is a 2-day event. Um, Anybody who does go, they're gonna see a performance that's not gonna be streamed, a super exclusive performance. I
Oh.
know, and a physical goodie bag with a
Can
bunch
we
of
go?
things. Ah,
I'm going. Sorry. You stay here. And we
no,
could because it's summertime. Kids can stay with my folks. Like we should just go.
we have other things to go to.
What, in July?
Oh no, not in July.
What are you talking about? We're going.
I don't know.
I want to go. Bye.
Well, let's see if you win that lottery
I'll put.
system first.
I'm gonna go put your 200 on black at the at the roulette tables.
Gonna come back with no pants. I lost it.
I lost it all. I had to cash in my other ticket, the other $200 ticket.
No.
I had to do questionable things to get back home.
We'll just walk in on each other's shoulders with the trench coat, the long trench coat.
Hello, I'm here to see Mr. Final Fantasy. For some reason, it's you talk like you put on that voice even though you don't have to.
Hello.
Oh man,
Oh
it
my
sucks
goodness.
though. So we've been playing Final Fantasy for years, and whenever there's a new expansion that's gonna drop, that's when the fan festivals start. They only come when there's after an expansion is dropped. It's usually the following
Mm-hmm.
year, and uh. But because of the pandemic, because of them changing their practices on how they're doing this and crunch, plus he's making Final Fantasy 16, there is going to be no Final Fantasy 14 this year. Every 18 months there's usually a Final Fantasy game that comes out. Expansion that comes out. It's been like that for all 5 expansions, and this is gonna be the first time that it's not. So it's like, so I'm predicting, if we go by history, normally the first Fan Fest is around October, November, and with the expansion launching in around June, July. So if I had to take a wild guess, I would say that this game will the next expansion, which will probably be announced in July, during the first in Vegas. That's probably where they're gonna announce it. It will
Mm-hmm.
probably, I bet you anything, it's gonna be in March. I would say that's usually that's about 7 months out from that fan fest, and it's the end of July on top of that, so it's usually about 6-7 months out. So that's about February to March. So I say the latest we get a March a release date, if not February. If it goes until June, I'll be highly surprised that it went that far. And the only reason why it could go a little further out, I would say the absolute latest would be April, is only because we don't know, we don't have a hard date yet for Final Fantasy 16, but they did say winter
Mm-hmm.
2023. They didn't say winter 2024. So that means, is it
That's
coming out
true.
the week before Christmas, which is kind of weird, but if it's really going to be in winter, or do they mean when it gets cold, or the winter season, which I guess starts in November for a lot of people, for a lot of businesses. So
Mm-hmm.
it's probably November when 16 comes out. I mean, 7 comes out. 16's in the summertime. 7 part 2 is in the winter time. Excuse me.
Oh,
Um
right. Okay.
yeah, I said that wrong. I said that backwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
7 is part 2 is coming out in winter 2023. So yeah, so I have a feeling that that's why 14 is not going to come out, because 7 is coming out around that time. So you're not, they want that game to sell. They don't want a massive expansion to come out around the same time. So I would say
Mm-mm.
if 7 part 2 comes out in November, then we'll get 3 months seems about right to me. And so I would say February, March we get the expansion, but I guess time will tell.
Time will tell, especially since we're on a break right now with it.
Yeah.
But we shall return.
um what does our break have to do with the release date?
Hmm.
You said we're on a break from it.
Expansion. The other Final Fantasy 14 expansion.
Oh, well, whatever. Anyway, so this past week, what you call it? So people were really bummed this last couple of weeks, because apparently, it came out that Apex, something called Titanfall Legends, was going to be released. What it was going to be was a they were going to try to replicate what they do with Call of Duty, in the sense that you have Modern Warfare 2 and you have Warzone, right? And they're separate from each other. Modern Warfare is all multiplayer maps with different game modes like team deathmatch and control and capture the flag and all that good stuff, right? And then you have the BR component to it. So they were going to do that with Titanfall, have a single player game that included some of the Apex Legends. They were going to bring back BT, which was the big robot from which again you, Fefer, have to play,
I know.
continue your game
I have to
and finish
continue.
that. It's only like 4 hours. It's so quick and it's so worth it. But they were going to bring back wall running. They were going to bring back the robots. They were going to do all that, and that was going to be it's like single play, like with a story, and I'm assuming maybe game modes or whatever. But I think what they did is they're scrapping that, and they're probably just Apex Legends just released a permanent game mode, TDM, team deathmatch game mode on that you can play right now. for the next like 10, well, maybe at this point probably like 18 more days of it until they switch that game mode out for another permanent game mode. It's gonna be on a rotation, but either way, that sucks. A lot of people, I'm upset. I'm like, damn, like, Titanfall story is all everybody wanted.
That's I
It,
know.
it didn't even have to be Titanfall 3. They just want more Titanfall story, which would have been great. But the guy who created Titanfall and Apex Legends, Chad Grenier, I think is his name. He actually left back in late 2021, and so he actually and they just announced, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, on the 16th, they just announced a new studio, Wildlight Entertainment, and it's already 10 guys and girls, women, 10 men and women that are joining the fray there, who are and they're developing new IP. I just thought that was exciting because Timefall is a much beloved game. Apex Legends is another beloved game. He helped create Respawn, and now he's going on to create a brand new IP, and I think that's amazing. I'm like, bring that shooting, to another IP, that great, feeling of shooting, the guns and stuff. Man, that sounds exciting. If you're a fan of Apex or Timefall, that's something to keep an eye out, keep an ear out. Wildlight Entertainment, keep whatever they release. I'm very interested to see what they're gonna come up with. So that should be cool. But yeah, you can cover the next one if you want to talk about some of the stuff there.
While we were away on vacation, Nintendo very rudely went ahead and put out a new Nintendo Direct.
Right, that was very offensive. We were on vacation, Nintendo. How dare
you? So, just a few honorable mentions, because we're not going to really, at this point, you've more than likely already went and checked out what they announced, all that stuff, the new Mario Kart levels, including like a new Yoshi thing with the new tracks on the Wave 4 for Mario Kart. So of course, those of you who already love Metroid, or Metroid Prime Remastered was announced, and that came out same day. The physical should be coming out soon. We love Katamari Reroll. That's one of my favorites. They're going to release that on the Switch at some point. Pikmin 4. Hello, they finally did it. They finally announced it. July 21st for that. And of course, last but not least, from our, again, honorable mentions, Tears of the Kingdom, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, May 12th, still on that same release date. They did put out a new trailer, and it looks good. Looks good.
That was a big deal, that Metroid Prime. So that Metroid Prime, if you didn't know, so the one of the podcasts I listen to is part of the Giant Bomb Game Mess Mornings, which is Jeff Grubb. Jeff Grubb is an insider who always like lets information out and all that. He's like a big insider who does, pretty much when there's a lot of news that comes out, or whenever he mentions something on his podcast, which has been happening the last couple of years, it's like full news stories come out just from him casually talking. Because I'll hear it in the car I'm driving, and he'll say something. Oh yeah, I think it's from this. Or I heard something, and then I see full news stories about some little thing he mutters in that shit. So, so he heard that Metroid Prime was coming out, and he had heard it from a bunch of places. It was supposed to drop before Christmas, and good old Nintendo gave him the finger on that. He said, if it doesn't come out, I'll shave my head. And he was known for his freaking thick ass hair. The dude has a lot of hair. Yeah, he
had a lot of hair.
And he had to shave all his hair off because of the damn Metroid Prime thing. So that was pretty wild that shit happened. But I think, he donated it. I think, if it's not still in the party that he cut at. And
oh my goodness.
It's actually a pretty funny story. Like, they were there drinking, they made a whole event out of it. He had his partner Mike Minotti there, and then he thought that Mike thought he was supposed to be the one. Someone's like, I'm actually a barber, I can just cut it off for him. And he's like, and Mike was like, no, I'll do it, I'm supposed to do it. And he does a hack job until it doesn't tell Grubb that he has there's an actual barber in the house, until after he like does a hack job on his head. He's like, wait, there's a barber here? And so he got him to do something, and he fixed up his hair. But I was like, oh my god, like That was pretty
Oh my
hilarious. And then
gosh.
it like then he forgets the hair in a bag there, so it's just like sitting in the guy's house or garage for like 2 weeks. So it was like ridiculous. But I think he ultimately donated it. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. That he was sure it was supposed to come. He was like so sure it was gonna come out. He's like I've asked a bunch of people that I trust, blah blah blah, and Nintendo's known for that though. They canceled a live action Netflix Zelda because it leaked. So if this leaked and they know, and they apparently he's been in like Nintendo jail for some shit. I don't even know the full story. But I could see that happening, like news reports saying, "Oh, a Metroid Prime's supposed to come out according to Jeff Grubb," and Nintendo's like, "Nah, you know what? Push that shit back. We're Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no, you didn't say nothing.
We need to sell more for our fiscal year." So, and speaking of that, one of the other big things that you forgot to mention and put down here for the direct is the Game Boy emulation now, and Game Boy Advance being added to Nintendo Online.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was Pikmin 4 is more important.
I mean, you're right. But if you want to play, if you've been waiting for Game Boy Advance or Game Boy to show up, finally there are a list of games. I don't have the list here. But if you're, I think the base, if you pay for the base online, you get the Game Boy, and you need the annual $50 online to pay for, or the additional, what was it, $25 I think it comes out to get to use Game Boy Advance. So yeah, and they have like a nice little list of games there. So it was pretty cool to see that. I think
I want to say Tetris. Oh, but Mario Land 2, the 6 golden coins, and Tetris
yeah,
are definitely going to be on there. So those are definitely 2 really good games.
exactly. So yep, so be on the lookout for that, for more stuff. But that's cool. This past week also, I guess you wanted to mention that.
Speaking mentioning Tetris, yeah, sorry, I'm like, wait a minute. Speaking of Tetris, don't forget they did show a trailer for the new Tetris movie biopic on Apple TV. That's going to be streaming on Apple TV March 31st. So
I'm super excited for that, because this is gonna be this biopic. First of all, they don't have a whole lot of biopics on video games, so we're getting like almost like a like a music, how they have the music biopics or whatever.
yes.
So it's like we're getting that for like a famous video game. And what like me and you were talking about offline, I think one of the coolest things is that you don't tell the Tetris story without telling the Game Boy story, because the Game Boy is the Tetris and Game Boy go hand in hand on their success. Like Tetris was as successful as it was because the Game Boy, and vice versa. The Game Boy was as successful as it was because of Tetris.
Yep.
Everybody bought that because Tetris was addicting. It was new. It was easy to get into.
The game. That was the game. In my household, we had the one Game Boy with the clunky ass power supply, and we were between
Are you
me,
fancy?
my
You had the
brother,
power
and
supply?
we had the big old power supply. Yeah. Plugged it in.
Yeah,
We were just playing there. Yeah, sure. We were going at it. We were going for high scores. So when you saw, it was one of us. We were all hogging it. It was, like I said, my mother, my brother, and myself. We were just taking for hours.
Yeah, Tetris. That it looks really good. It shows the old president at the time, Yamauchi or whatever. It's crazy. It shows a lot. I'm really excited for that movie. I'm definitely gonna check that out when it drops in March, because I'm hyped for that. I already know a lot about how that happened, because if you want to see a really well done documentary, the Gaming Historian on YouTube does a lot of retro documentaries, really well done. They've written articles about him several times, because he's done covered things for the first time, like how the ESRB was created, things like that. And so definitely check that out if you're interested in video game history. And like myself, I love video game history. It's always so interesting to see how things came to be, and what, yeah, how like something like new ideas just blew up into like franchises that are like, like I love hearing about that type of stuff.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
but yeah, moving on, the next game that came out this week is Wild Hearts, which is the Fortnite Monster Hunter game. It's
Yes.
Monster Hunter with a more Japanese setting by the people who made Dynasty Warriors. That was something that I just realized this week. It's the same team that did Dynasty Warriors. So
Hmm.
yeah, so they made Dynasty Warriors 9, which wasn't very good, and this is their next game though. So they actually stepped away from Dynasty Warriors to do uh Wild Hearts, which apparently it's a really great game. It's just that it's running like complete crap right now.
Oh,
Yeah. So
that's a shame.
it really is, because I was interested. So I mean,
It
in my
looks so
own like
good.
twisted way, I'm kind of happy because I'm still playing Hogwarts Legacy. I almost said Double Dragon because you be saying that, but like a dragon, like a dragon Ishin. that one is also came out this week. So I'm just like, so much games. So it's like, good, be broken for now. Let's let a patch come out, and that way I don't have to feel so bad buying a broken game. Maybe it'll even be on sale by the time I really hope it's successful enough though, because it looks really awesome. Like, again, if you haven't heard
Mm-hmm.
of it, it's pretty much Monster Hunter. It looks very much like it, but the change in this one is that it has kind of like a crafting survival element, like almost like a survival game where you chop trees, and you have to get your resources, and you can some of the maps, you can build your own structures on these maps, kind of like
That's so
it was
awesome.
compared to like a Death Stranding. If you played Death Stranding, in your world, on the map, you can build let's say, for example, that's the same as zip lines. You can build zip lines in Wild Hearts that take, and they'll stay there, like they're permanent structures that you leave there, so the next time you fight a monster in that area, your structures are there. So camps
That's
for
so
resting,
cool.
yeah, camps for resting, like I said, like maybe things, contraptions that you build, that aren't broken, or things to help you climb up higher, or like I just said, I think huts to rest in, and zip lines to travel around better, and it stays there. So it's like you get to customize the map, which makes it really cool, because that means when you jump
That's
into other
awesome.
people's games, it might be a little more unique in their game. I think it's a really nice twist. And
I think that's a great idea, that
yeah,
whole concept. Yeah,
it's really
absolutely.
cool. So I'm like, yeah, it's about time, like another, and it's by EA published this, which is kind of weird to hear, but yeah, EA, this is considered an EA original. So
Okay.
I think, if it's not on your radar, definitely check that out, because it looks freaking awesome. Besides the performance issues, and its performance issues are widespread, so just keep that in mind. They are aware. They already mentioned they're gonna update. There's gonna be bug fixes, which I'm sure there will be. So I'll be playing Hogwarts until that time comes. But speaking of broken hearts, Activision and Blizzard is to implement freaking Return to Office, and people are mad. They're like, I don't want to go back to the office.
Nobody wants to work in the office.
I know.
Working from home has gotten everybody so used to just not getting dressed.
I'm like, I gotta put pants on just to sit next to Bob who stinks. Um,
Right? Come on, you can't lie. Don't tell me you haven't gone on a Zoom call only dressed from this half up in booty shorts or pajama shorts,
no, my
whatever you
booty
want to.
shorts. Yeah, you're right. Definitely in the booty shorts.
Hello, I am a great worker, and don't
It's
stand up.
yeah, they're upset though. But out of all the complaining, I think some of the stupidest complaints though out of that was like, people have moved away, and I'm like, all right, that's a you
Yeah, that's
problem.
silly.
Like the people,
That's, you
and then
shouldn't
they're
have
like,
moved
oh, and
away.
what about the people they hired out of state? I'm like, yeah, those people probably have a contract or some kind of terms to their work service. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that they were probably knew this was gonna come at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm like, shut
Exactly.
up. Like, it does suck. Don't get me wrong, it sucks. I'm sure if you know your
It
job can
does.
be, it works very well remotely, but there's a lot of rent that's been paid to offices with nobody in it. I'm sure they want butts back in those offices. But
Yep.
sorry, Activision and Blizzard employees, I feel for you. I have a job
Mm-hmm.
that requires me to be on the road, so I don't even during the pandemic, I was in the streets I was on the front lines.
He's on the streets.
Yep. While we're getting ready to record though, Lies of P got a new trailer.
Hell yeah.
It looked kind of interesting. What did you think of it?
I liked it. I've even from the first trailer that we've seen a few different times, it's got this dark feel to it, and it's very like Elden Ring, and I want to go
Right.
kill some weird, crazy looking monsters. It looks interesting. I'm scared, and I definitely want to jump into that.
Yeah, it looked interesting. I wish they would have showed some new gameplay on this one,
Yeah.
but the good thing is it got an August release date. This is the first time that it's gotten a release date, or at least a release
Yes.
window, because it didn't give an actual day. But August, at least
Mm-hmm.
we get the month, and that's not bad. So good. I'm glad it's not next week or
It's
anything,
something.
because
Right. It
Jesus.
would be next week.
You
Oh my
can go on to
goodness.
the next one. 'Cause you
Oh,
put that right.
so yes, I did. Sorry, I didn't. I was pulling up something else really quick because I noticed something else. Um, so Marvelous Europe and Xseed, those who are used to, you might know them from Story of Seasons, Rune Factory 3, Grand Blue Fantasy. They've gone and announced a game from Battle Brew Productions called Cuisinier. So it's a roguelike cooking indie game. And you're it kind of looks like an overhead, kind of like what was it? Crossy Road. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like that. Better, more details in the graphics.
Right.
And it's really cute looking. So you see in the trailer, you see your character kind of like jumping from one platform to the next, and then you're like killing chicken and all that stuff. But you go through different dungeons. You do obviously you do fighting. You get a bunch of different recipes. You take quests, and then you go and do the quests. I guess maybe uh, fetch quests, maybe, I don't know, whatever they may be. But it looks like it's a lot of fun, and I really hope, because this looks really cool. This is my first time checking it out. I saw it a little earlier today, and I just hope it just I don't know, sounds. Hope it sounds, I don't know. You know how you have the gamey bits that really sound good and they add to your immersion of the
Right.
game.
No,
I hope
absolutely.
it sounds good. And I
Right.
know you know. But yeah, I hope that's all good, because it's more like let's say when you play Forager and you
Right.
you hear all those noises and you're like ding and bring, and it's stuff to just get you into the game. I hope it's very much like that, because that's what it looks like. So
Yeah,
I'm
a lot
hoping.
of hits hitting those dopamine receptors real
Yeah,
hard. Yeah, I
yeah.
know what you mean.
So that they just announced that a little earlier today. So definitely take a look at that. Definitely take a look at that.
Yeah. Um and the long running battle with between PlayStation and Xbox, did some more information came out recently. So when Game Pass first like blew up, like Phil Spencer was like, oh, when people play games on Game Pass, so, it actually increases the sale of the game, because then they go, when it leaves Game Pass, they go on to buy the game. Apparently, that's not true. Or at least not all of that is true. It seems like they actually admitted that game sales take a hit by a redacted percentage. It actually says redacted in the document.
Oh my
They don't
goodness.
want,
I could see
it must
that.
be a high number. If it was like 5%, 15%, it's probably like 40%, 40 to, if I had to take a guess, it's 40 to 50%,
I'm
reduction in
sure.
game sales on the platform, because especially when it comes out on PC as well. I'm like, why? I'm sure a lot of
Exactly.
people don't buy it with 25 million subscribers. I'm sure a lot of people are just gonna play it, are not gonna buy the game. Why? I can just play it here. So,
Exactly. Do you know how many people? I mean, because, okay, let's be real about Game Pass. A lot of games that are on Game Pass, if they're just if they don't have multiple replay value, you're playing through it. The achievement hunters are getting all the achievements, doing everything in it within a few days,
mhm.
maybe a week. Like the real, like super hardcore gamers that are really like going in every day. So like it really depends on that, because like let's say what we played, I played Yakuza 0 on Game Pass. Then they took it out for a bit and I was like, "Oh crap." And then I bought it for like $5 on sale, and then they brought it back again.
Yeah.
So you're not always going to get some games that are really that that worth it to go ahead and buy it,
Exactly.
because
Some
then
games, yeah, it will, but you're right. It's like there that you get a discount, which is cool. Like if you're a Game Pass subscriber, but that's the discounts through the Windows Store. So it's like I don't want to
yeah,
buy games on through the Windows Store.
yeah.
I think Game Pass needs a few more features. I think they need to take their launcher a little more seriously. Um,
Mhm.
because if you think
Mhm.
about it, it's another launcher. Everyone hates launchers, but the Game Pass launcher is, they need to really add in like social features that like make people want to be there. Like on Steam. Steam has a lot of social features, a lot of different things.
Mhm.
The store is prominent. That's another thing. Like make the store a little bit more fun and to easy to navigate. When you enter Game Pass, like your library should be your purchases and your, I mean, I don't know. I think that's how it does work. Like whatever you've purchased sits there, but I don't know. It just feels like it doesn't feel that comprehensive. And I feel like that's part of the reason why, like, why am I going to buy the game there? Once it leaves, I'm going to Steam, you know?
Mhm. Yeah,
And I mean,
exactly.
I'm sure third parties don't care about that. That's why Xbox is probably doesn't care either. They're probably like, well, here, day and date or whatever. And I'm sure they have to share that information. Like, okay, when you come to us, we have to let you know, like, you're probably gonna get half the sales, and I'm sure that's how they make up for it. Like, we're gonna give, we're not gonna give you, I guess, like, it's a mix. It must be a mix of like how much you projected sales, how much you're gonna lose out by that, and how much here we're gonna guarantee this. So if you think you're gonna sell 100 copies of a game, right? I'm sure, and they'd say, okay, well, that's gonna be dropped by 40%, or let's say 50%, just to make it easier. We'll give you 35% of the cash you might lose out on, guaranteed. It's probably how it works,
Mhm.
because they're not gonna give you
Mhm.
half the money like this bullshit. You know what I mean? I'm
No, of
sure it'd be
course.
like, it's kind of like, here's the deal. This is guaranteed. You can take 35% or take the risk, on sales. You know what I mean? Which could be worse than taking that 35 projection. You know what I mean? So I'm sure like
Mhm.
that's what sucks though. It's like a lot of day one games, and this is something that like I feel like Xbox or Microsoft themselves should probably be easy with is don't anybody who's willing to put a day one on there, don't let it be a mediocre game. Like let that shit be like
Yeah.
like because they know when it's going to be a bad game. When a game doesn't get its embargo lifted until 24 hours before release date, it's going to be a mediocre game. It's either full of bugs or it's not a very good game, and that's
Mhm.
usually how it works. So I feel like, not that they release anything buggy on Game Pass, but which I'm not sure if they do or they don't, but a game that like they know that's in, when they've done play tests that they know it's not very good, it's probably not going to do very really well. you know I feel like Microsoft should sometimes say, you know what, then no, we don't want this game here, because we need to stop that stigma. You know what I mean? They don't release enough of
Exactly.
their own heavy hitters to justify the crap that gets on there day one. You know what I mean? Now, if you,
Yes.
that's what they need to work on stopping. I know they're gonna take what they can get at this point. Especially if it's
No, of
something with
course.
buzz around it. Like the way Outriders, was on Game Pass day. That was a pretty big deal. But that's because I feel like that's because Square didn't think it was gonna sell well. So they said, you know what, we'll take the guaranteed 35% instead of, because they know they're gonna lose sales.
Mhm.
And for
Mhm.
me, I feel like at this point, Microsoft truly needs to come up with their own Steam Deck, Windows machine, something that's like gutted enough to run any Windows game, but that, like their own Surface, gamepad or whatever that can run the games
Mhm.
locally, not this fucking cloud crap that's their only
The
solution.
Logitech.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
Logitech shit. Like, stop that shit.
Mhm.
Like, like you don't like that's the problem. What makes the Steam Deck so nice is that you have both options. I can stream a game beautifully from my PC. I can stream a game,
Yes.
if you finagle it, which Microsoft actually gives you step-by-step instructions how to do this. You can actually put cloud Game Pass, X Cloud, on your Steam Deck, and I can run 99% of games locally. You know what I mean? Like whether they're playable or not. You know what I mean? I can run them locally, and even games that aren't allowing you to stream, I can still at least stream the game in my house, like Call of Duty, for example. Which I have to actually try to see how bad the latency is, but um but that's what I'm saying. Like I can play most games locally, and that's the problem that I feel like is with xCloud. It's like you can own, and the other thing that I feel like they should copy from, they should totally copy from Stadia. If there's anything to be taken away from Stadia, is that Stadia gave you the best PC version of a game. When you use xCloud, you're getting the Xbox version of the game. Why am I getting, if I want to play a Plague's Tale Requiem, right? The beautiful, gorgeous sequel. That game is gorgeous. On Xbox, it only was running at max, I think 40 FPS or something. I think max. I think it might have been updated since then, but let's just pretend when they launched, it was 30 to 40 FPS. If I stream that, why am I streaming the Xbox version? Why not stream the PC version that's also on Game Pass and allow me to play like that? Because that way I'm getting, I mean, I guess it undermines the Series X a little bit. Maybe is that what it is? That's probably what it is,
that
right?
might be it. Yeah.
Because then it's like, damn, like
I can get a Series X when I can play it great here.
I can play the better versions on xCloud, I guess. But then you're not playing it locally. You know. See, there's still an incentive there. I don't know. I think that's my problem. It's like, I don't know. They have to figure that out. I guess that is the problem, or whatever. But I still think I think if you're gonna stream it, there's still latency. It's still not gonna look as good. But if it means if it's there's like, hey, you know what? It runs at 30 on the Series X or 40 on the Series X, but if you stream it, there's a little degradation, but you'll get a faster frame rate if that's what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe even have it at medium settings, but make the frame rates a little faster through xCloud. Like, I don't know. I feel like they could do it. They want subscribers. That would be a good reason for subscribers.
That's a good incentive. Yeah.
Like I would say subscribe if that was the case. Make it like Stadia. They need that a Wi-Fi controller as well for lowered latency that Stadia and Luna does. Because Amazon does the same thing. They have a proprietary Wi-Fi controller that allows you to play their Amazon Luna cloud games, and it's supposed to have lower latency. I didn't really feel it, but apparently it's supposed to have lower latency with that. So yeah, but that's my rant on Xbox.
Yay, Xbox.
Your favorite.
Turn mine on.
I know, right?
It's been a while. My baby's cold.
You should turn it on and play
Power Wash Sim. So, Power Wash Sim fans, we're getting a cool ass update. Final Fantasy VII Midgar anniversary. So you're gonna be getting some cool scenes up in there. You're gonna have Midgar stuff. You're gonna have different familiar backgrounds here that you're gonna start cleaning up and making them bright and shiny.
Hell yeah!
So,
I think
it's a free update, free expansion.
I was gonna say, I think the price is the other good part of that.
The price is definitely good. If you've already got the game, or you go and get it on Game Pass, then it's gonna be a free update. It'll be coming out on March 2nd this year. So not even a month away right now. So
nice.
Because what was the last one? They had a Tomb Raider crossover.
Oh yeah, Tomb Raider.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, that one was that's because Square, I guess at the time when this was getting created, still owned the IP.
Oh. I didn't even realize that was.
Yeah, they published Power Wash Simulator. Yeah, it's a weird. Square is weird. Square is super weird.
You know what though? It works.
I mean, I do
enjoy Power Wash Sim before it makes me nauseous. So it's fun.
What else?
What else we got? So during the Super Bowl, they had a new Super Mario Brothers movie trailer, but it was a whole commercial.
Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah,
that was kind of cool because on top of that, it just hit our old ass ears, us millennial ears, with the Super Mario rap. Super Mario Brothers. It was so cool. I think that and it gave you a website like Super Mario Bros Plumbing or something. I forgot. It gave you a number, a phone number, and a website to check out. The website you go and you see they have all their whole advertisement on there. And if you call the number, you get to hear some voices on there, and it's really kind of cool.
Yeah, it's Super Mario. I mean, SMB, as in Super Mario Bros. SMBplumbing.com.
Ah,
Yeah, there's a trailer, there's a phone number, the 92955 Mario. And then when
yay.
you call it, it's Charlie Days, Luigi, telling you to text the phone number and they'll respond immediately.
I love it. It's little things like that that get me hyped for it.
Yeah, that's pretty
It's a
interesting.
me, Mario.
Oh my Jesus. I like how it's Charlie Day though, because they
I
they
know.
still hiding that damn voice.
They are. Yes, they are.
It's me,
It's horrible.
Mario. Thanks for calling in.
Oh, God. Ah, damn it, Chris Pratt.
Speaking of Super Mario, Saudi Arabia ups its stake in Nintendo again to become its biggest outside investor at 7.08% investment, which is about $7 billion.
They love their video games.
And it's like, this is causing controversy because people are stupid. They're like, oh, nobody's getting upset about Nintendo with this. But I'm like, yeah, because they're a publicly traded company and anybody can buy their stock. What they can't take away stock from a private entity that bought it. So it is what it is. But it's kind of getting interesting. Saudi Arabia is like investing in entertainment, which is a little scary because they're very apparently oppressive regime, and there's a lot of bad stuff happening over there. So it's something to keep an eye out. If you're into this type of stuff, just thought I'd bring it up because I just found it interesting. Like, what? Like,
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia is investing in Nintendo? Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Apparently they own SNK. Like they're like the majority stakeholder in SNK. So a lot of people are like weirded
Wow.
out by that. Yeah, that's King of Fighters and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it's like, whoa, yeah. Like now, like people are feeling conflicted about playing the Metal Slug tactics game that's supposed to come out at some point. And I'm like, you know what? This whole world is full of shit. So it's like it's shitty. So I'm gonna just play it. Probably. And then this second to last big story of the week is Hogwarts Legacy. That we were talking about before. It actually in Europe where they actually get a physical sales, physical and digital. So like a 56% higher than, or the sales for that game were 56% higher than Elden Ring, the infamous and famous Elden Ring. So that's how big Harry Potter is. Yeah,
that's huge. You have a lot of people with the nostalgia from all the games and everything. And then on top
and
of
it makes
that,
sense what I was reading, like what people were saying, like to me, like, yeah, Elden Ring was a force to be reckoned with, but Harry Potter appeals to children and adults and people curious about it. So Elden Ring, children weren't buying Elden Ring, so to say it's 56% higher makes a lot of sense. That game's probably gonna be one of the biggest. Hogwarts Legacy is just printing money right now, and
yeah.
I get it. It's it's not the craziest open world game. I mean, I haven't gotten that deep into it, if I'm being honest, but just what I've played so far, it's actually quite fun to just run around and zap shit as a wizard. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it does it does a lot of little things right that it just feels good to just do the things in it. And it's a different,
you don't have enough wizard games like that.
Yeah,
so
and it's like
definitely appeals.
It's interesting in the sense that like that you have the main school, which is a massive building, but then the surrounding areas are like you can explore those too, and they're massive. It's a huge map that I didn't scroll that far down. I was like, what happened to, and I finally like zoomed out and scrolled and it kept going. I was like, this is a big ass map. So there's a lot. They have to, because you're gonna be flying on a broom. So they give you places to fly to, like you like legit like huge map. It's crazy. Like I was really impressed by that. But yeah, printing money.
Lots of money. There's definitely lots of money in that.
And speaking of printing money,
this kind of actually goes back to the Game Pass topic we were talking about before. So Valheim, one of our favorite games here on VGXL, Um, Valheim is where we're counting down to the Xbox and Xbox Game Pass release. They did release a trailer a day ago, yesterday, with gameplay footage on the Xbox.
Okay.
And it looks good. And the release date for that is March 14th.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. So it looks good. Let's just I'm sure it'll play fine on the freaking Xbox with
Yeah.
multiplayer and
I'm
everything
sure
like
that's
that.
what's taking
I,
long. Yeah, first of all, like
yeah,
they're probably tweaking the hell out of the game, make sure it runs real nice. But
I'm sure. I'm sure they're trying to optimize it with the Mistlands update and whatnot. So I'm sure they're trying to just make it crossing their T's, dotting their I's, making sure everything's nice and clean on there.
cross their eyes and dot their T's. Um,
Yep,
damn. See,
all
so
that in a bag of
see
cheese.
that is the other side of Game Pass. So the games that have financial, like critical and financial success, because 10
Mm-hmm.
million sold. So it's like then they took another bag from Microsoft to put it on
Yup.
Game Pass. It's like they didn't even
Yup.
have to do that, but it's like
They
why not
didn't.
grab another bag? So good for them, man. Good for
Yeah, go
was it
ahead.
Iron
Iron
Gate?
Gate,
Yeah.
Coffee Stain. Yeah.
Like good for them on getting that game on there because they made so much money from that. It's
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
I know, I know. You know what? Just kind of off topic, just on the Game Pass. I'm a little disappointed that Party Animals is only showing up on Game Pass right now, and we're still waiting on that.
Hmm.
But I'm sure it was maybe for that bag so they can help get their production going. Because
It
I
probably
know for
still
some
be on
time there they
Steam. A lot
were.
of stuff that shows up on there, if it's not an Xbox exclusive, it's gonna probably be on Steam. It'll just be on Game
I know, I
Pass.
mean eventually, but they
No,
don't
I
even
mean at the
have
same
any sort
time.
of.
Oh, they don't have nothing on Steam?
They have the Steam page.
Yeah,
I'm
it'll
pretty
be on
sure they don't
Steam.
have a release date. I think it's still TBA on there.
Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna be exclusive to Game Pass. I think it'll be
We'll
on
see.
both.
We'll see.
I'm
Because you
just
know
saying because
how Epic be
a
doing
lot of
too.
games do both. It's just that so many they're not like Epic. Epic was like stopping people from being on Steam. It was like, no, if you're gonna be here, you're only gonna be
Yeah.
here, and you're not, which I think has finally stopped because I don't see that much
Like the
anymore.
jealous girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. But no,
Like you ain't gonna go on any other one.
I think the fact that they already had first of all, I think they'd have to say it, but I think the fact that they already a lot of their fan base that's crying for this game is already on Steam. So I think it would be a big disservice if they really snub all those people for a Game Pass exclusivity, unless
Yeah,
Microsoft
that's what
buys
I'm
them.
scared of.
So I mean, you're right; it doesn't have the date, but who knows? I mean, I'll be surprised if it truly doesn't come out on the same day on
Mostly
Steam.
Mostly because I'm just expressing my concern because like I said, I'm double checking on here. On Steam it does say to be announced, but they didn't say that like fall 2023 it's coming to Game Pass.
Yeah. All
They
right.
could
Well,
have something like that on Steam.
no, you're right.
They
You're
don't.
right. I'm just saying. I'll be kind of that'll be weird, and I'll be very surprised because almost every other game, even Microsoft's own games that release on Game Pass, come out on Steam. Like they don't even make their own games exclusive to Game Pass. So I don't see that.
Yeah.
I don't think they make those kinds of deals. That's
I
it.
hope not
Yeah.
because these people, the people making Recreate games should be taking my money.
Yeah, that's a game I want
That
to
is such
own.
an
Yeah, that's a game I
yes.
want to
I
have it on my
don't we're
Steam
not gonna
Deck.
waste our time on no Game Pass. I
Yeah.
wanna play that, have game nights. I wanna beat all of your asses.
Yeah, that game Party Animals is going to be the shit. I can't wait for that to come on.
Yes, I can't wait for that.
All right. I think we covered everything we needed to cover this week. This was a great
I'm
episode. I
pretty
had
sure,
a
yeah.
great time.
I
Uh,
did
We
too.
finished right on time. It was like an hour and 3 minutes. That's not half
Oh,
bad, I must
nice.
say.
It's good to be back.
It is good to be back. Oh, you know what? I didn't even mention socials. So again,
Oh,
if you made it this far, thank you. And definitely give us a follow at VGXL Podcast on Twitter or Video Games X Life everywhere else. And where can we find you, Fefer?
on Twitch, you can find me at Fefer. On Twitter, Fefer Plays. Instagram, I got my Fefer Plays back. One S.
1S. All right.
And TikTok, Fefer Plays. I'll be coming back from my hiatus very soon. Keep a lookout on those socials. I will definitely announce it, but you'll see me on here for the time being.
Oh yeah. You streaming next week? You streaming on
Maybe.
Tuesday?
I don't know. I'll let you know. I'll let you know. Follow the socials and you'll find out.
Right. All right. And again, what games are you looking forward to? Are you going to be playing Power Wash Simulator with that Midgar DLC?